Right?
Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome, Bev. Good to see you today.
Thanks, Stephanie. So good to be back with you.
Yeah, I'm happy. So we're for those of you, this is your first time watching. This is actually relationship conversations with Bev and Stephanie. We do this every other Monday. So hopefully if this is your first time watching it, you can set yourself a reminder so that you can watch with us every single Monday. We go live at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we like to take just a few minutes and just kind of talk about some of the important topics that are going on for some of our current clients. And right now, one of the things that I've noticed a lot is people minimizing things that they shouldn't be minimizing. Have you noticed that at all with people, maybe even in yourself?
For sure, yes and yes and yes. I heard something different when you spoke about minimizing. I think what I heard the second time from you was that trying to say, I noticed this behavior, but it's not as bad as I'm thinking. I'm making a big thing about it. The other thing I heard when you suggested we speak about minimizing, and which I've noticed, is that there's a positive side, that I can minimize some of the things I do to distract from the relationship, to be more present in the relationship. So I heard both and from you. When you brought up the topic, that's what came to my mind. Where would you like to go?
Well, so we can talk about both of them, but most of the time when I work with clients, it's the negative side. So, I'm gonna just give a little trigger warning because I'm gonna talk about abuse. But I was talking to one of our followers, and she was saying that she was in a situation where her boyfriend had actually taken her and thrown her into the washing machine, like thrown her body against the washing machine. And she was making not a big deal about it. And I said, she said, well, compared to the other things that he's done, this is really not that big of a deal. And I said, okay, well, I understand. Are you safe? She's like, no, I'm fine. Me and my child are safe. And I said, okay, this is what I want you to know. As someone who is healthy and on the other side, I want you to know that when I was strangled, I minimized that and was like, well, I wasn't getting beat up. I'm not getting any black and blues. I minimized it. When I spoke to someone from the domestic violence shelter, they came to help me get an order of protection. And when I told her that I was strangled, the look of horror on her face, and I was like, like, relax, lady. It's not, he didn't kill me. He didn't beat me up, And I was minimizing. So I said this to this woman, and she said, well, you're right. It's just that I've had other relationships that were very abusive, and comparatively, this one isn't as bad. And so what I find that happens a lot of the times is that a lot of our clients, in order to deal with the bad situation that they're in, they try to minimize it. They try to pretend like this is okay.
Right. So I think what I'm noticing is that, and this is just coming to my mind now, this little phrase that I'm going to shout out now, is that sometimes people don't feel there's a safe place to share the horror that, because in a younger place, when they were in their family of origin, they might have felt that their voice was shut up. Nobody could hear them. So I like to say to people, this is really just coming to my head now, when in doubt, shout it out. Just say it to someone. He threw me against the washing machine. Does that kind of happen in every relationship? Or because, and how does it make you feel? Does it make you feel that it's really all right? What would happen if you threw him against the washing machine? Would you feel good about yourself with that kind of behavior? Is that loving behavior? Is it instead of words? What could you do that deserves you to be thrown against the washing machine?
And that's what, and I think that probably deep down, a lot of people understand that that's not appropriate behavior. Like they know, but I work with a lot of really successful people. They're successful in other places in their lives, just not in relationships. And I think that, and that was for me, I wanted to minimize it to kind of protect myself, but also protect this image that I had, or I wanted other people to have of me. I didn't want them to think less of me because I was in this situation where this was happening to me.
And that is such an amazing distinction. I would like us just to stay with that for a minute. That is, of course, your identity was being questioned. And who am I?
Mm-hmm.
I love that, Stephanie.
And because that's what it's like. You're successful in everywhere. I mean, I'm getting Teacher of the Year or Teacher of the Month. I'm getting like all these other distinctions, and I'm going home to discomfort. I'm going home to stress. And so, so to pretend
why can't I get this right?
Yeah. But so like, it's really this kind of putting on this mask of I'm feeling like everything is okay. But at home, I'm going home and it's really stressful. And I think, and I don't know if that resonates for anybody that's watching, but there's this person that a lot of times we put out to the world, and then there's the person that we really are, and which one are we, and how much are we willing to protect that person that we're projecting out to the world in order to make ourselves feel better and feel like we're deserving of happiness or whatever.
Anytime, wow, that's incredible. And I'd like to even just sit with it for a second before I respond, because what's coming to mind is that fragmented self. I'm only going to show part of myself is already traumatic. It's already a traumatic symptom.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes so much energy. I'm just going to keep this part contracted, and this part's going to be not used, and this is the part I'm going to show. That takes so much energy, and that is part of the identity, that I'm so successful here, but I'm not here. And how can we merge those two identities?
Mm-hmm.
That it's not about shame. Of course, it is about shame, and it is about guilt. And how can we take that on board and face that? I feel so ashamed that I'm such a success here, and I have no clue how to manage this. And that's where turning to someone like you is essential.
Mm-hmm.
It's essential. I cannot stress that enough. We cannot, and we're not supposed to manage these things by ourselves. And even if you come to somebody and they say, somebody like Stephanie, and she says, you know what, let's just see, maybe you are making a bigger deal. Rather that than carry this by yourself. And I guarantee you, 100%, Stephanie will never say to you, you're making a bigger deal than it is.
Mm-hmm.
You will be able to rest and explore it.
Mm-hmm. And I love what you said about the energy, because I think that a lot of people don't realize, and I'm sure with your clients, you notice this as well, there's so much energy that's put into the wrong thing. So if we're minimizing really big things in our relationship, or we are, trying to juggle too much and we don't have the right support, the amount of energy that we are using to pretend to be something that we're not. Imagine if we could use all that energy to just put it into the good stuff and to be able to accomplish all the good things. It makes, and then again, anyone who's watching this, I'm going to tell you right now, it is so much easier to do just the regular things in life when your energy isn't being sucked away from unhealthy relationships, from having to pretend to be a person that you're not. I mean, it takes a lot of mental bandwidth to remember, like, I have to be like this over here, and I have to be like this over here, and I have to pretend here. And that's a lot. It's exhausting. Just thinking about it is exhausting.
Absolutely. And it's that feeling, as you said, being out of integrity with yourself, where if you have a circle that's not closed, a relationship that's draining your energy, and you can know that relationship. If I'm walking along a pavement or sidewalk, as you'd say, and you walk towards me and I cross the road, that means that that's an incomplete relationship. And in order to free energy up, we need to complete those relationships. We need to either walk away, but we need to clean it up, or speak it to the person about it, so that we can be our whole selves. And I really want to reiterate again that if you can think about, where am I safe? And you feel safe sitting with somebody like you, that's where you can really explore what next steps to take. Mm-hmm. Who am I really, in that place of safety where you are accepted 100% for who you are, and you can show your vulnerability, your pain, and your joy.
So would you say, so for people watching that are saying, you know what, I think I'm kind of minimizing what's going on for myself, what would you say to them? Obviously get support and communicate and all that. And definitely, anybody's watching this, we can't do this on our own. I mean, we can't, I couldn't, I don't have, I don't really know people who can, because we can't get out of our own thinking. But what would you say to them, those people that are like, wait a minute, I am doing it. I don't really, but I'm just scared. I don't know what to do.
I'm so scared. So the first thing I would say is think of a person with whom you feel that safety, whether it be a professional person, whether it be a good friend or a pastor or whoever, because that's where you can almost take energy from how does it feel when you feel completely safe? How do you show up in the world when you feel you belong and you feel safe? So that's what I would advise people who are thinking this doesn't feel right, but I'm sure I'm making a big deal. They're coming down on themselves. They're already judging and criticizing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Who can you talk to just to get it out of your head? As you said, we can't. We go round in loops and loops in our heads. We need each other to co-regulate and to hear and to feel heard. So that's what I would urge people to do, to take a breath. And who's that person? Where is that place that I feel that resting?
Agreed. And I love that. You know, if you're just tuning in now, definitely go back and watch the replay. But, you know, really just finding yourself and finding what feels good. I mean, being in a place where you're not getting your energy drained will be such a freedom. I can't even put it into words for you. So, you know, let's start helping you reconnect to yourself. Let's start thinking about what you can do that makes you whole, that makes you happy, instead of having all your energy sucked towards pretending to be something that you're not. Let's find out who that is, and you know, we can help you with that. So thank you to everybody for tuning in. Bev, thank you so much for coming and hanging out.
I just wanted to add one last word, that the energy that you're spending is really on survival, because when you get thrown against a washing machine, you could die or you could be injured, and that's the energy you want to free up.
Yep. So, yep, exactly. I love it. So thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. We will see you in 2 weeks at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and enjoy the rest of your week. Take care. Bye.
Bye.